10 books published, but don't think that you know me. Never knew my past. I'm that quiet kid, not reading teacher. Please don't choose me. Fluency is not my thing. I'm surprised I made it out of high school. I'm just saying, I heard you talking, saying things about instruction. If it isn't engaging, y'all gon' quit, I understand. But don't give up on me or the other teachers that I know. We're working hard to captivate you. Please take back that chant you wrote, I heard. If instruction is not engaging, then I'ma quit. Understand what I'm saying, man? Man, they get what they're saying they gon' quit. What they say? They gon' quit. If instruction is not engaging, then I'ma quit. They gon' quit. If instruction is not engaging, I'ma quit.
Okay, this is what you need to do to be a phenomenal teacher. Phenomenal teacher. Like amazing. Make it fun. Don't make no boring stuff. Just make it sure.
The engagement piece is asking a student to come on some journey with you through learning. Are they going to do that? It honestly, to me, is based on whether or not they trust you to deliver the experience for them, right? To allow them in on the experience, to allow them to engage with you on it, or are they going to sit and get and then produce? Okay, Vanessa Robinson. I'm born and raised in Monterey County. Grew up in Salinas. I went to Monterey High School. I ended up staying locally to go to college at CSUMB. CSUMB was a fairly new school at the time. Their mission statement is actually one of the only ones in the CSU system that has like multiculturalism in their like mission statement embedded in their priorities. A lot of the coursework I took there was like teaching for social change, multicultural literature, global education, and so I've always been like a social activist. So I was like, oh, this is it.
I would say my pet peeve is, and thank God I don't run into a lot of teachers like this, but when I hear teachers say, well, hey, I'm not jumping through no hoops for these kids. I mean, hey, I'm teaching them the curriculum and they should know how important it is for them to learn the information that I'm about to teach them. Oh, man. I'm going to do whatever it takes to reach that child. Let me say it again. I'm going to do whatever it takes to reach that child. I've been teaching for 28 years, 12 years as a fifth grade teacher, 16 as an academic math coach, and it has been some of the best years of my life. Okay, so what do I like to do outside of school? Well, first and foremost, I'm a family man. So, weekends are spent with my wife, my daughters, just, family time. But outside of that, I love songwriting. I mean, that's my number one passion. Before any books that were written, it started with me writing songs.
That's a good question there.
You need to be nice to kids. Make them put a little fun into the learning too. Make sure that they're okay.
Excuse my language, but don't be a boring teacher. Give your students some fun activities, and if they don't deserve those fun activities, well, just leave them out.
When our kids are curious about something, we ought to let them go down that path of that curiosity. We can adjust our standards to align to their curiousness. Sometimes we talk about AP capstone projects for seniors, and we talk about IB final papers, and right, we have all these things that towards the end of an educational career or a master's or a doctoral thesis, right? It's what I was curious about. So I was passionate about it. We have to find a way to get that curiosity and passion from pre-K all the way through 12 into the collegiate level as well.
When students are empowered, they really care and they really want to know how they're performing. They want to know what the expectation is and how they can meet it. I think like part of the big like hook or the engagement piece is having students want to learn by making things fun, like doing a classroom transformation with the post office, or having them track their own data in their journals. I'm someone who loves to be outside, so my favorite place is in a hammock at the park, drinking a nice cup of local coffee. And I really like to spend time with my friends and invest in other people. So you'll see me hanging out, reading with my friends at the coffee shop, or just taking walks, just spending time with people and outside.
Miss Robinson is the good teacher. I like how she does like fun activities so he can like engage more inside the learning.
One of the students, she came up to me and she's like, Miss Chalmers, you know you're my favorite teacher. And I'm like, what's coming with this? You finna ask me for something. She's like, no, I just wanted to tell you that. So I think that when they know that you care about them and they see that you're gonna motivate them, good and bad, that makes them smile. I'm a social media person, so I like being on social media, not just for teaching tips, but I like that's my creative outlet. I do bake, so I have a little side business where I bake cakes and decorate them. Big on community service. I'm also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, so we do public service within our community and scholarship service and sisterhood.
So student engagement is one of those areas that is just so important for the involvement of students in directing their learning. And then as an administrator, now those are the wonderful things we get to look for in classes. So student engagement to me means that a child gets to opt in to their learning. And the way you structure learning is being able to prove and provide opportunities for them to speak and to communicate what they're learning in their mind.
It begins with a relationship first, because if you don't know your kids, you're not going to know how to truly engage them. You're only going to be able to just say, well, I think this might work. But if I know how, Catrice learned, or if I know how Vincent learns, and then therefore I could better cater my activities and how I facilitate the learning for our students, to engage them in what's going on.
I think about trying to teach the kids in a fun way, because some teachers teach in a mean strict way, and some teachers teach in a nice way.
Calm down on the work a little bit. I think the reason the students are not listening is because the lesson is not really that fun at all.
It's like the most important thing. You got to get them engaged, you got to connect to them personally. And if you don't do that, then what's it for, You're not connecting them on a personal level, and then they're not going to go back home and be like, my tutor was the best today, they taught me this, this, and that. And that's what really connects with them. That's what they keep in memories, and that's what they use in the future, I think.
So when he became president, he actually upset the people in the South. The cultural responsiveness piece to me, I think, is just good practice. If I'm not doing it, I'm malpracticing. If I'm a doctor and I'm in the operating room and I'm not using tools or instruments or research-based practices that serve the heart surgery field, right? Then how am I treating the heart? So our population is all Latino. 98% Latino and 98% free and reduced lunch. So if we're thinking about how am I educating that student, how am I getting their buy-in, how am I engaging them in an American classroom when they come from a home that knows nothing about what we do here, right? I have to deliver something to them that they can connect with what they brought in.
In our district, we have a lot of English learners. So if we allow them not to speak, they're happy. They're happy because they haven't not mastered the English language yet. So it's more of our responsibility to ensure that every child, 100% of the time, has an opportunity to engage in the learning and share their thoughts on it. And that's okay if they share it in their primary language or in their English language that they're mastering. because then we know what they're thinking in their brain and they're able to communicate that.
As an educator, it's so important for all of us to ensure that any opportunity that we're providing students, any task, we have to keep their culture and their linguistic abilities in mind, because unless we're tapping into those things, we're not seeing them as a whole. And it's so important that we're considering those things when we're engaging in the planning process. I'm in a position where I can influence the experience that our students have. And I want to make sure that the experience that our students have is an experience where they feel a sense of belonging. Their whole self is welcome at this school, not parts of it and leave half at the door. And no, because our students also need to know you're not coming as an empty vessel. The opposite. You're coming with so much knowledge and experiences, and what happens at San Jose is co-construction of knowledge. When we release our students, they're able to then vocalize, then able to express themselves, and we're learning from them as much as they're learning from us, and that's engagement.
The Young Gentlemen's Group, a mentoring group I started in 1998. We're basically just reinforcing all the core values, positive character education traits that their parents are instilling in them. We're talking about respect of self. We're talking about respect of others, philanthropy. You know, and it's not about monetary all the time. It's giving of your time. I have former students who are music producers, Artrell, I can name them, Joshua. I have students just doing a lot of great things, and I'm just proud of them.
I remember as a little boy, he was talking to my mom about my sister and how she was doing in school. And he had his daughter right there with him. And she was just sitting there playing in his hand, and it was like, it's after school. So Mr. Taylor looked like he really wanted to enjoy his daughter, but at the same time, he really wanted to talk to my mom and make sure she had an understanding of what my sister was like, you know, her grades and everything, make sure she had an understanding of what was going on in class. But as I sat there and watched him try to tend to his daughter and show her love as he handled business, it was like, dang, one day I want to grow up and be a dad. So like, just like we had them dreams, like you seen them cars on TV when you was growing up, like, hey, I want that car. It was like, he made me be like, one day I want a daughter. And like, when I got my daughter, like some of the vibes me and her like got is like, when I think back to Mr. Taylor when I was in the 3rd grade and his vibe with his daughter, it was like, that's exactly what I wanted, like for real. And it's like, man, like amazing father, amazing teacher, amazing man, like just amazing person in general. Like I always say he was like a dad to a lot of us.
So I start every lesson with the data piece. I always talk about, okay, this is our standard, this is where we're going, and I usually say like, well, the other homeroom scored this, so you really want to beat them. And that encourages them too, because they have a little motivation between the classes. Like, well, I can do it because I got this. For example, today you're going to be reading a long story, and you're responsible for
making it short.
So that means including the relevant details, including the things that matter, the things that are important. This summary can only be 3 sentences today. So being very explicit with, this is the standard we're working on, and here's how we're going to do it, and then moving into that fun piece. So how can we get students to meet that standard and enjoy that process of learning, whether that's through group collaboration or independent work or one-on-one with me, however I can do it to make sure that the students are fully engaged in something that is on their level.
Be relatable, but also let your kids know that you're serious, because sometimes it can seem like you're trying to be their friend, but also try to be their teacher. We always appreciate honesty and seeing you grow.
Patience is another big thing. If the kid, had a rough night at home and they come in to sleep in the class, let them sleep for 10 minutes and say, hey, it's time to get up and do your work. It's little things like that I feel like is okay. I mean, sleep for 10 minutes and do your work as long as your work's done. then I think that's acceptable.
That's one thing that children love to do. They love to be heard, and that's one thing you need to make sure that you do. Because whenever we talk about a phenomenal teacher, we always say that they listen to us. So you need to listen. Make sure that you're understanding. Make sure you're open to receiving comments.
Don't be scared of the kids. Don't be scared of the kids. Make sure that you know what you're talking about personally. Make sure you study up on that, and don't make the classroom feel like a classroom. I don't want to go into a classroom and be like, dang, this is a classroom. I want to go into a classroom and say, this is a safe space where I can be myself, where I can grow and evolve in this subject. I want you to make me want to learn.
Because you showed us your card. What you looking for? Electric energy? You always have those students that have those touching stories and those situations at home, and you really think about them, after the day is over. I do love my students. I can tell when they're sad and when they need to pick me up. I know the words and how to motivate them. Because sometimes it's, they may or may not be getting that. And so I do really genuinely care about them and their well-being. I want to see them do well. And even if I'm tough on them, it's out of love, because I don't want you to just be okay with being basic. I need you to be better than you can.
Her personality. Miss Chalmers, she's fun. Like, if you asked her for something, she's going to try to come up with it or trying to help you get it and understand it better.
Oh, Miss Chalmers, really, it's good. It's good vibe. It's good, yeah.
But we have so many amazing partners that help support Duval County Public Schools and help support our students' learning and our outcomes. It takes a village. What I like to use sometimes is, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together. And if we're going to push student achievement to the levels that we need, it's going to have to be this entire community understanding what needs to happen.
The Lucy Gooding Foundation helped us to get a bookmobile that we now take all around the city, and kids can come in and pick out a free book. Everybody loves something for free, right? And so they come in and they say, which book should I choose? Any one you want. Look at all of them. And so it really was an opportunity to empower kids in the same time getting them engaged in reading, and I think it's been very successful.
We're celebrating the state champ, baby.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, if it wasn't for this superintendent, all of this wouldn't have happened. So the 24 years I've been here, this have never taken place like this. You gotta celebrate the kids. I'm gonna tell you.
You can't get to know what's going on in your community or your schools if you're in your office. You've got to get out and engage with what's going on in your campuses, in your community, and you have to prioritize that time. We've had the honor of having 100% of our students graduate from the last 3 years, and we're on track to do it again. So, again, they say if you do it once, that's luck. If you do it again, that's a skill. And again, I contribute that not to myself, but to my team, because we do everything from knocking on doors. I created a department called Student Support Services that's led by Dr. Jackson, and they have a lot of community wraparound services. Family needs, whatever their needs are, we can usually find someone.
My reading teacher, because she always come with the energy. She be hype, and then she be ready to teach on time. She don't be late, missing work and stuff.
Sometimes we have like an hour to play, and yeah.
An hour?
Yes, an hour. She's really nice.
Sometimes I think it's not really about the subject that you're teaching, it's how you put a spin on how you're teaching. Because there'll be teachers that are just like going with the lesson plan and things of that nature, but there'll be the teachers that want to spice it up. And I think one teacher that really comes to mind for me is my 4th grade teacher, Miss Delphonse. She was always a teacher that kept learning fun and made you really want to come to her class instead of oh, I gotta go to Miss Delphonse. No, she was the teacher that you're looking forward to going to, you know?
That teacher would be Mr. Smith. He taught me algebra this year, and he would always connect with the kids. If a kid came into the classroom, he would, talk to them and have a good connection and relationship. And if that student was upset that day or really happy, he would always have, just a big conversation and, connect with the kid. He just stood out with all of my other teachers because I don't even know if I've had a teacher that's been like that, so good to me, ever in my whole school career. So he really stood out the most to me. Yeah, he's completely, I think, changed my entire life these past few months that I've known him.
I've worked with school districts all over America. One of the major things that I have to ask myself when I go into a classroom is, does the teacher treat that child as if that child is his or her own, or if that child belongs to someone else? When you see that child, if you are not going to say, I want for this child the same thing that I want for my son or my daughter, I want for this child the same thing I want for my niece or my nephew, sometimes the child gets shortchanged. I want everyone to say, when they come into the room, these are my babies, and mean it for real.
I like I'm a Star Camp because it gives me a chance. They give me a chance.
I'm passionate about education. It's changed so much. Teachers are built different now. But I'm passionate about those that enjoy what they do and they see the necessary, because it's so easy for you to say, I'm just here for the check. I'm gonna do the bare minimum, but we don't need bare minimum. These kids need more. So that's what I'm passionate about. I have to get a little emotional.
No, that's
yeah.
Right. Why do you think you get emotional?
Because they're kids that are gonna become adults. And so if we give up on them now, we can't be mad with what happens. Like, if this is what you say you wanna do, then why would you give anything less? Like, why would you be okay with letting them behave how they want, halfway do work, and then get mad and talk about, oh, they're not doing it. What are you doing?
I'm a problem child, running wild, don't know no better, keeping my head up, no, yeah. I'm a problem child, running wild, don't know no better, been lost forever, no.
It just seemed like the teacher was pushing me down specifically, but he wasn't. It was the whole class. And whenever I went into another math class, I did wonders, and I was doing the same thing that I did in there. But all he did was just sit in the room and do nothing.
It's always that one teacher. Okay, we're not gonna put her on blast. Every time I go into her classroom, she had this energy. Her energy was off. Every time we'd come in there, she'd always find something the matter. Like, she'd just start an argument. She liked to argue. She made sure that her voice was heard. She didn't like when we were talking. But like, the thing is, you gotta be social at school, but you don't wanna be too social. And that's the thing we never were. Like, you hear a little whisper, you get upset. Like, she get upset about a lot of stuff. Like, I understand you wanna take control of your class. I understand that fully, but calm it down a bit.
All it was teach and tell. We didn't really have any type of activities or games to relate to the things we were learning. That's what made it boring, because I want to go to a class feeling excited to learn something new, but not sit there and do nothing.
She made me feel like I was belittled in her class, and also like I don't want to say dumb, because that's a really bad word, but a little less intelligent than the others. Like, I was behind the curve. But really, a lot of my friends were in my class with me, and they were like, yeah, we have the same issue. So it was more so based on her teaching style. She knows what she's talking about. She just doesn't know how to articulate it very well. So basically, she would say one thing. She would say A, B, and C. We would respond with D, E, and F. But then she would say, no, you're wrong, it's G, and not give us an explanation. Specifically because she didn't know how to. But I feel as though she knew how. She wasn't a bad teacher. Her delivery was just off.
So I've had a couple of teachers like this. We would all come in the classroom, They wouldn't even say good morning or afternoon. They would just hand us a worksheet and tell us to do it. And that to me is just like lack of effort. If you're gonna have a job and, you know, work with kids, I think you need to be good with kids and, you know, like again, like the connection and the trust. I mean, I didn't really know her because she never talks about herself, or so it was just go sit down, do your work, and leave. Like, it wasn't comfortable and it didn't feel like a nice setting to me.
If you're talking about like why I don't like that the class I'm in, it's because we're supposed to be like learning like more advanced, more challenging, so we can truly understand. But at times they don't show it and they don't do it, and it doesn't really make the subject any interesting. And to be honest, it feels like we're going back to elementary school. Like, it's too easy. I wanted a challenge.
If instruction isn't engaging, I quit. Now let me say it again. If instruction isn't engaging, I quit. That's what our students are saying to us if we do not find ways to engage them. It was a book that I had to write because I experienced so much success in the classroom, and I wanted to share the things that I did that allowed me to be successful. Am I saying definitively these are the ways that you engage your students? The only way? Of course not. But these were the things that I implemented. These were the things that allowed me to be successful. And I just wanted to find a way to share. I don't know of a profession in this world where there are not challenges. So we all have them. I just choose to celebrate the one that I'm in and not focus on the negative parts, because, oh yeah, we are gonna have that student, you know what I mean? We're all gonna have that student, but that doesn't have to control the narrative of our profession. We are part of something great, and that's what we, as educators, have to tell the world. While they're constantly trying to feed us negative things about our profession, let's negate that. Let's talk about the positive. Let's talk about how we're changing lives. Let's talk about how students come back and they tell you how much of an impact you had in their life. I know that I'm a part of what has to be one of the best professions in the world. I love it so much that I wrote a song about it. It's called I Am a Teacher. Thank God I'm a teacher.
I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become. A teacher. Guess what made a difference in my life? A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become. A teacher. Guess what made a difference in my life? A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. Step into the room at last. Every student that I teach gon' pass.
Mr. Taylor is awesome. He's awesome. Very interact person with my parents to be sure if I act up or if I need to get it together. He made sure he communicate with my mom, especially my mom.
Mr. Taylor was definitely very engaging. He didn't just stand up in front of the class and lecture us. He actually made learning fun.
They want the REALWORLD. That's what they look for. Real world, they're looking for connections. They want the REALWORLD. That's what they look for. Real world, they're looking for connections.
Yeah, then buy. But it's 30% off right now. What's 30% off $100? Well, what would be 10% of 100?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. 10. So do it 3 times to make 30.
70?
Do 10 3 times.
30.
So $100 would now be, oh yeah, $70. That's what you meant?
No.
Look at you learning how to shop safely with math. My family's all educators, and I promise you, even if you guys came to Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday, you would hear nothing but school. We don't know what else to talk about.
We don't, I know.
We just talk about saving the world together.
The only time where there's conversations that don't involve school is when I call her about something dramatic.
And you don't want that on camera.
What you saw in the classroom, that's who she is outside.
Yeah.
She's funny, but she's, she's very honest. Whenever there's like a challenge I'm facing, I always see it, okay, like what would Vanessa do? What would Vanessa say? Because it's always pushing me to do, you know, better in every aspect of my life.
I realize life is a series of moments, and interactions with people, whether they're 5 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds or more, is something you never get back. And so give yourself to that moment and rejoice in it and live in it. And so that's how I lead in my district. I go into the school offices, they already know me. I'm gonna hug them first. I'm gonna say hello. I'm gonna ask them how they're doing first. Then we get to the work. Because if you treat people with that kindness and realize that you're a human first and you are living life through your lens, whether it's positive things that are happening in your life or some things that we don't know that are maybe impacting you in a very traumatic way, all of that matters to who you bring to the job every day. And so first I lean in with, how are you? Give them a hug. How's the family? I'm so proud of you. Here's what we're doing, you know, those kinds of things. Then when we do the heavy work, like mapping standards or identifying common assessments and looking at the data, and the kids aren't mastering the standards yet, what do we do? They're not engaging in the classrooms to the best of their ability. What do we do? How do we switch? What do we respond with? That work is a lot lighter because we're already common in the same vision and mission for the school district and the children we serve.
We will be talking through things that we already know, and we're going to be learning more things. You guys asked some really great questions about the post office. I definitely think a lot of my small group reading centers are pretty empowering. I give students a lot of, so during the center time, I'm usually working with a small group, and the rest of the students are working in small groups based on what they need, based on the test they took last week or whatever. And the empowerment piece comes from giving students support. So like giving them a checklist. Okay, in a summary, you need this, this, and this. Here's your checklist. Here's your story. Now you do the work. Put in the work while using that support. And you can do it without me. You don't have to come ask me 100 questions. You can do this work. It's on your level. Here's a checklist, and you hold yourself accountable. And then at the end, they switch papers and give each other feedback on whatever they're doing. I'm big on that too, because if a student produces something, it's really important for them to see how they did, whether that's coming from me or a peer. So then when they get the peer-to-peer feedback, it's helpful for the student receiving the feedback, but it's also helpful for the student writing feedback to someone else. So just empowering them that they are in charge of their learning is really big, and they can do it.
Like when we're learning, she gives us hard things. Like for example, when we gotta read long words, she helps us to read them, and then we get better and better at it.
What is this called though?
An equivalent fraction. So another way to get equivalent fraction.
As far as what's equivalent to what? Talk to me.
So if you times 1/8 by 2, it makes me way bigger.
Okay. So 1/4 is equivalent to 2/8. Got it. Perfect. All right, man.
And if you add 1/3 right here, 1/3 right there, and then 1/3 right there. It makes one whole, so one whole is equivalent to 3/3.
Are you some secret master mathematician? What's your name?
Mr. Jordan.
I thought you were Dr. Jordan.
I made him when he had your kicked up yesterday. You gotta focus, son. You gotta focus. Because you've been doing good. You've been getting better and better. I know you know the information. I was expecting what you end up getting. Remember? It was a 30. Here's the thing I've noticed about your two students. We played that because you was up there. Did you get first place or second place? So you know the information. You gotta slow yourself down. You gotta make sure you're thinking about what you're reading.
Like if we struggle, she'll come right there. Like she'll go over with the other students and then she'll come back to you to get you all caught up. She take her time with us.
Do you remember what equipment you wrote? A ruler. A lot of people forgot that because how could you measure distance without a ruler?
I got it.
Yes. We were just asked to put together a little step team for our Black History program. And then my counselor said, you know what, you did a good job with them because I think it was just a few months that I had them but we were able to perform at 2 different events. And she's like, I think you should start a club. So I said, okay, I think I'll do it. And so I have 19 young ladies that have stuck it through, and we've performed at all of our programs here at school. We did a parade, and then we have a Star Pepperella coming up that will be our last performance.
You got to step up and show out. You got to...
Well, will we step up to the stage?
And I think Samuel figured out his own error, which was perfect. You want to come back up, Samuel, and give us your answer.
Of 2 and 5/10.
Okay, so he counted backwards 3/10 from 2 and 8/10. We're at 2 and 5/10. Yes? What about that first row, the 1? What should be up there in the first row?
0.
Right?
If we need help with something, or like if we're in trouble, or if we don't feel safe, she'll like let our parents know, and then she'll like talk to us and like help us make us feel safe.
The one thing that really stands out about her, that she's just wonderful. She's so nice to people. She's always there for people.
Teachers a lot of times might feel like, I don't have the opportunity to provide a lot of choice. You know, I have a district curriculum I have to teach. I have a scope and sequence I have to teach. How do I provide choice? Choice can be in the small things too. So sometimes for writing, when students don't have a choice of what to write about, the topic, then I say you still have the choice of your words. And that's why we at Read USA embed choice into all of our programming. So especially our book choice and ownership programming. We go into schools with free book fairs. You don't have to bring any money. You come in as a student and you have a book fair set up, and you get to walk in and choose the books that interest you and take them home to own. And we do the same thing at community events as well. But also, even in our tutoring program, we have choice built in. So we understand this is the level where you're working right now with your decoding, with your comprehension. But within that, here's some choices of books that you can look at and select for your tutoring lesson. So that's how we implement choice that feeds into interest, motivation, and engagement.
One of the things that I always think about when I think about engagement is how do you show up? But not just showing up in the classroom, but one of the things I always like to do, and I like to sort of think back on, is how do I engage outside those 4 walls? And I think one way you do that is you do things that aren't required of you. It's showing up on the weekend, showing up at night, it's showing up at their activities, their dance recitals, those sorts of things, because it matters. Like when they see you, it's like, whoa, like you came, you what? Number one, they don't even realize you're a real person. They're like, what, you have a life outside of the 5 days you're in school? Yeah, I do. And for you to think it not robbery to show up, not only is it amazing for that student, but that family too. Now that family's bought in, then it circles out, that community's bought in, now you're their teacher. You're not a teacher, you're their teacher.
We have had the opportunity to have the All Pro Dad initiative here at Cedar Hills, and it has been simply amazing. We did get recognition from our district, our school district, because of the amount of dads that were there and just the community involvement. So it's a step in a good direction towards including our community and engaging them as well.
I don't know how anyone can lead anything if they don't know their community where they're serving. And so for me, it's important that I get out and interact with our community, not just for events that pertain to my students, but also our municipal government, getting involved with them, our local elected officials. Yesterday I sat on a panel with Best Southwest, some other superintendents in this area, but it was a business community. And so getting a real good pulse on what's happening in the community, how things are growing, knowing what the economic development horizon looks like, helps me as a superintendent better prepare my students for what options there will be for them.
One of my big goals when I came into this office was to create a more unified community. And I think we do that by having these experiences together, investing in our kids together, getting our kids engaged together. I can't tell you how excited the parents have been about all these initiatives. So we started thinking, what can we do to increase those literacy numbers and make it fun for kids to be engaged? And so River City Readers was really born out of that. We decided, let's make it a challenge. So let's put prizes and games and competition, because kids love a competition. It is all about student engagement and making sure that we can get kids passionate about engaging. And if they're passionate, they're not even aware they're learning. They're just having a great time, and then they realize they're getting someplace.
Oh, 100%. I wanna talk about my JRTC teacher in 9th grade, Sergeant McDuffie. The teacher he goes and shows his personality. He kind of breaks the students down at first just to get, into your head. You think it's about to be something, and then he switches a whole nother mode, and you find out, oh, this is such a cool guy. He's real. He's down to earth with the students. One memory in particular was the first day of school. He literally ran his head into a file cabinet, and he did that to prove to us that he had a metal plate in his head. And so it's little memories like that that really show like his passion for what he was doing, and how it tied into the classroom. And that made it to where, I could talk to him about anything. If I saw him in the halls, I was saying what's up to him. And really just engaging with him beyond the classroom aspect.
I've had so many teachers that have been like life-changing for me that it's hard for me to just pick one. So I'm just gonna choose my professor from recently, one of the classes that I finished taking in the spring. So I did have this professor. He really, I think for him, the biggest thing that I loved about his engagement was that he really focused on hearing our perspective. So it wasn't just like a lecture where it was just note-taking and PowerPoints. We had side discussions with our classmates. We had debates. He wanted to hear our thoughts on the matter. We would have articles that we would read and then come back to class and discuss like our viewpoints. And I think that was really good because not everybody has the same thoughts on a matter. And so the fact that we all get to, express our concerns, our opinions on things that are not only things that happened in the past, but also like things that are happening now and things that will happen in the future. So I think just the fact where we had a voice, that was like the biggest part for me.
I'll start by just underscoring how important I know student engagement to be. Not only am I privileged to serve as the president of the Jacksonville Public Education Fund, but I'm also a former teacher in Duval County Public Schools, and I've seen firsthand the transformative power of student engagement. It's not just about keeping students interested, but it's really about how we can make sure that students are active participants in their education as well as in their futures. And at JPEF, we're really proud to, do things like celebrate educators for being that transformative force for good. We know that of school-based factors that have a huge impact on student achievement, teachers are number one. And so through our Eddie Awards, we have the opportunity to celebrate, elevate, and just empower even more so educators who are doing the good work each day of engaging our students and ensuring that they are thriving academically as well as personally.
Drum roll, please. Our 2025 Vice Star Duval County Teacher of the Year is Vincent Taylor.
First of all, that was a journey that I'll never forget. And the way that our school district celebrated all the teachers of the year was just so heartfelt. Like I said, it really made you feel great to be a teacher in this school district. So I just want to say hats off to, Duval County Public Schools, JPEL for, being the vehicle that drives the Teacher of the Year celebration.
Well, when it came to the point where we were participating in DEAR, Drop Everything and Read, my boys were like, Mr. Taylor, man, you talking about you want us to read, but all the books in here got girls on the front cover. What about the books for us? And they were right. We probably had 1 or 2 books where the protagonist was a male. So I said, you know what? Let me create a book series where the main character is a boy. And that was the birth of Isaiah Walker, AKA Cornbread.
Speaking about the kid, know who he is, know who he be. Cornbread. Yes. Isaiah Walker. Oh, ever seen her? Tell me, ever seen her? Who is that? Cornbread, who? Isaiah Walker. Chicken, ma. Know what I'm talking about. Check out the smooth. Now who is that, Jimmy, like that? Man, I don't know who that is, man. That's
When Cornbread walks in the room, everything stops. All the attention is on him. I mean, you see kids are smiling. They're running up to him, and they're hugging him, and you see his students and teachers and parents. Everyone is crazy about Cornbread. I wrote the book with intentions of having it for my 5th graders at John Love Elementary. But that book has spawned into classrooms all over the district, all over the country. We've even had an opportunity to have the books being a blessing to students in Africa. So we have some in Tanzania, Africa. There are books in the Gambia.
When you look at the Cornbread Series and what they offer to the students, which aligns with the school district standards, it is awesome. And what also was exciting about engagement is that it involves music, it involves rap, it involves all kind of other unorthodox things that make kids excited about reading. He's been the one that has connected the schools, the community, and parents together. So communities and schools is very excited about this partnership, in which I said 20 years, it's gonna be 20 more years that we'll be doing this. So thank you, Vincent Taylor, thank you, Cornbread, for all that you have done in reaching thousands of students over the past 20 years through communities and schools.
Student engagement is very important. Not only that, but we do like to, I'm not gonna put everyone on blast, but we have the tendency to talk behind people's backs. And usually, if you're a good teacher, they will talk positively about you. And if not, well, like I said earlier, they'll talk behind your back, say so-and-so is not a good teacher, he just needs to give it up.
They're coming into education because they have a passion and a heart for it. Don't lose that. This job is the most exhausting and most rewarding job.
We are new students. We're coming into this new grade. You're coming into a new job. So we're all going through this experience together. So as you take time to mold your class, don't be too rough on them and they won't be too rough on you. And we can all work together in a perfect harmony.
Teachers, just please make sure that learning for your students is as fun and as engaging as possible. Because if you're a boring teacher, then they don't want to do the work. But if it's really fun, they're going to be on it. Like with the Legos. Like, Legos are super fun, but that also helps us learn about coding.
I would say also keep a good connection with the teachers around you. It's good not only to bond with students, but also with your work environment. because you may find things that you didn't know about other teachers and have help or inspiration to do more things together.
So you will have to put up with all of our mess because we all play a little.
So I think the fact that I let them work with their partners, I give them think time, I put on music to let them zone out into the learning. I don't control the conversation. I am a facilitator of their learning I never tell them they're wrong, ever. I never say their answers are wrong, ever. Unless it's on a test, then it's like, okay, it's wrong. But if I'm asking for information in the class, right, that's what we're doing, information, soliciting information, I'm maybe, like those little tiny things make kids trust you, right? They trust to try. I'm gonna try, I'm gonna do it, who cares, whatever, this is fun, we're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna learn the lesson in the end, but whatever, in the meantime. So I think that's why my kids like me.
To be a great teacher, you need to not only know what you're talking about, but know who you're talking to. You need to know this person's interests, you need to know your whole student body on a personal level, and you need to connect to them emotionally. You can't just be a statue up there spewing information and not even really know what you're talking about, just going off just the script that the school board gives you.
But I think if you truly want to be a great teacher, what is important is kind of respecting your students and understanding where they are, where they're coming from. No matter if they're like anywhere from elementary school to high school, all of these students have lives outside of school. And as long as you're able to connect with them, level with them, while also teaching them the information you need to, you'll be perfectly fine.
Someone gave me this advice when I first became a teacher. I was really scared going into the classroom. It was the summer before, and she said, if at the end of the day your students leave kinder than they were when they got to you, if they leave better human beings, you've done your job well. So I think just having that mentality of, regardless of what the test scores, I know the test scores are important, I know the school grade is important, the learning is important, but as teachers we have such a deeper impact on students, and our job is really to encourage and empower these little humans to be greater members of society. So I think as long as you remember that at the end of the day you are their encourager, try not to get too stressed out by the day-to-day things.
At least create a bond. Like people say, your first impression is your last impression. Don't be too rude and don't be too strict and don't be too much of you let anything fly, because they'll run over you and think you whatever and they won't listen to you. You gotta set some boundaries, but at the same time, you gotta be like cool, because they're gonna think you're rude. They won't really like you like that.
I would say find out if you have things in common or things that students like and bring it to college and see, and then you can make your students like you so that you can talk about more topics and not make your class boring.
I spent my first 12 years as a 5th grade math teacher. Oh my gosh, that is where I learned how to become a teacher. My students, I tell them all the time, it is because of you that I am the teacher that I am today. I mean, I listen to them, and if we listen to our students, they will let us know exactly what they're looking for out of their teacher. And I just want to be the best teacher that I can for every student that crossed my path. That's an opportunity for me to change their life, and they change mine.
You be yourself, whatever's authentic to you, and you use that and you bring that in the classroom, because that's what the kids want to see. They want to see your authentic self. They want to see you come to life. They want to see that you're excited about it, and then they'll get excited about it.
If you want to teach, make sure you're doing it for the kids. Like, I know people think, I'm doing this for myself, but also make sure you're thinking of the kids. The kids you are teaching, most of the time when they want to come to school, they not only want to learn, but they also want to come to school to have some kind of fun and excitement. They don't just want to come to school to teach, to sit there and listen to you teach. Like, make sure you're thinking of the kids if you're thinking about becoming a teacher.
So in terms of engagement to a beginning teacher, you have to be able to be okay with having fun in the classroom. It's not that you're just the adult in the room and you tell them what to do and think that they're going to sit there and listen and do, but you have to be okay with stepping out of your comfort zone, being okay with laughing with your students, because they'll appreciate that a lot more than a person that just, teaches it and, of course, you can get them to pass the test, or you can teach them something new, but they'll appreciate seeing the human side of you, being able to have fun and joke around and, you know, crack little jokes with them if you need to. But in terms of like when it comes to the lessons and things, they'll retain it more and be more open to learning it when you keep it fun for them.
Try to be interactive with your students and try to make sure that they would tell you if they didn't understand. Because I did that some years, like I just didn't understand something, I'm like, it's okay, whatever, I'll figure it out. And I didn't, and I always got it wrong, so I try to be more interactive with your students.
One thing that you have to know is keep your head up, because the students are going to be hectic, especially if you tell them it's your first year. They're definitely going to try you a lot, but keep your head up, you know, and try to do your best. Walk into the classroom with confidence, and, you know, just try to get to know your students for who they are, and, you know, just do your best and try to keep your head up, because school's a lot nowadays. It's a lot being a teacher. Like a lot of stuff happens. So I would just say keep your head up and don't quit.
I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become a teacher. Guess what made a difference in my life? A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become a teacher. Guess what made a difference in my life? A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. Step into the room at last. Every student that I teach gon' pass. Yeah, we had a 1 to 23 ratio, but it doesn't matter. I'm committed, you could do the tricky math. How we gonna do that? Enthusiasm. You what a teacher gotta have. Enthusiasm. I ain't even trying to hear anything about who at risk or a bottom quartile list. Coming out the gate swinging, fighting for my students and I'm believing. Ain't no meaning, money, mo, no rock, paper, scissors or a glow. The real ones engage at the door. Hit it with an anticipatory hook. Always intentional, so you know they had to look. I'm committed 180 days, and all my teacher friends, man, they feel the same way. I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become a teacher. Guess what made a difference in my life? A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become a teacher. Guess what made a difference in my life? A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher.
When I point fingers, yeah. Everybody point fingers.
What about his mama? What about his daddy? What about his teacher supposed to help him get better?
Everybody pointing fingers, they be pointing, she be pointing, they be pointing, they be pointing, everybody pointing fingers.
What about community? You and me, let's work together and find a remedy.
Steady pointing fingers, everybody pointing fingers, she be pointing, they be pointing, everybody pointing fingers.
My child, 5th grade, but on the 3rd grade level. So I guess it's my fault even though I dig deep like a shovel. It's your duty, it's your job, take responsibility. I always thought a student's first teacher was a mom and dad, respectfully. Miss me with that talk, you went to college, no excuse. But I think it's fair to say I hold no birth certificates, you do. My son's in need and what he needs is small group instruction. And like I told you many times before, he needs to study more. I've asked you many times for extra work to no avail. Just left me hanging, chasing you like I'm some hunter on some trail. If you really